I gotta go, you know, cook a 4-course meal right now because, you know, I need a snack. Hello people of YouTube, Pixie here, and today on my channel it is Study With Me Saturday. And for today's Study With Me Saturday, we are going to be talking about 5 habits that successful students have, and hopefully you already have these habits or maintain these habits, but if you need some new habits, I got you covered. Also, of course, this doesn't apply to like every successful student ever. Different people have different methods and different habits that they keep up with to be successful, but these are just 5 that I came across that I thought would be helpful to you all. So let's go ahead and get started with habit numero uno, which is they set realistic goals. Now I feel like this can be a good one just because a lot of times it can be really easy to set like outlandish, outrageous goals, and really you're just not being honest with yourself. Say for example, you are like just like not going to class, you are not putting in the time or the effort, you're just blowing off class, and you still think that like you can get like 100% like on the last final or something. You have to be honest with yourself, you have to be realistic. Most of the time, if not all of the time, classes do require work, so you have to be able to set realistic goals. So obviously you know that you have to put in work to get 100% on a final, and if you haven't been putting in the work, you have to be honest with yourself, and maybe you have to retake that class. And you know what? That's okay. Things happen, people retake classes, and it turns out fine, so it's fine. But if you're at that point in the semester where you feel like you need like 150% on an exam on the final to pass the course, be realistic with yourself and start setting new good habits, good study habits to be successful in the future. Yeah, moving on to habit number 2 is kind of along the lines of setting realistic goals. Is people who are successful students, they divide up their tasks. Okay, so they, not always, but they tend to try to not procrastinate as much as possible. And so when I say dividing up their task, what I mean is like, for example, if you have to read like 300 pages over the course of, let's just say like a week. I know that's kind of a lot, but for some English majors, it's actually not that much, depending on what classes you're taking. So let's say it was like 300 pages in a week, okay? So a successful student, what they would do is they would basically divvy up the work throughout the week, depending upon their schedule, of course. They would try to squeeze in reading a certain amount, so whatever 300 divided by 7 is per day. Okay, so instead of trying to read like 300 pages in one night, that's not a good habit to set. I know sometimes it's unavoidable and sometimes it happens and you have to just do it all in one night, but successful students try to plan ahead and they try to divvy up the work, and I really recommend doing that because it makes things so much easier. Like maintaining something throughout the week, like doing a little bit every day, is so much easier. We all know it's the truth. It's way easier to do a little bit every day, even though we want to convince ourselves that we can do it, we can wait, we can do it. No, it's so much better just to do a little bit every day, and then you don't even have to worry about it. You're just like, yep, I did those 10 problems today, I can do those 10 problems tomorrow. You just keep going, and it feels good when you like hit a goal, you know what I mean? So habit number 3 that successful students have is they are not afraid to ask for help when they need it. I know for me this can be a struggle, sometimes asking for help or admitting that like you're confused, and a lot of times I know other students like this too, where they just feel like they're the only ones that don't understand something, and that is obviously totally not the case. And even if it is the case, that's also okay. Sometimes you're just confused, and that's fine. That's what learning is for. That's literally what school is for, is to teach you. So don't feel bad if you don't know something. Learn to be okay with asking questions, and learn to be okay with not knowing something the first time. That is like a huge one for me. I don't know why I feel like I need to know something, like be able to completely understand something the first time that I see it. I'm learning still. I know it's silly, but I'm still learning to get over that, and I just implore all of you to do the same and to be okay with asking questions. And I really encourage you to ask the questions that you have, because like 9 out of 10 times you are not the only person with that question, and it's just a good habit to pick up, to be comfortable with speaking up really about something that possibly makes you uncomfortable and makes you feel uncomfortable. It's good to be able to ask questions, and you will get answers and communicate with people effectively over time. So habit number 4 to pick up is to keep your like study zone, your zen place of studying, keep it distraction free. That whether that means, you know, I don't know, logging out of your Facebook or blocking certain websites that you shouldn't have access to while you're studying, or you know you're like going to be tempted to like go on while you're studying. Like eliminate all of that stuff like right off the bat, and you will find that studying is so much easier when there are no distractions. You know, if you need a place that's like quieter than your house or whatever, maybe you can go to the library or to like oh my goodness, like a tutoring center on campus, something like that. Or, you know, drown out noise with music. If you like studying with music, I know some people don't, but if you can do that, there's also that. So take away like the noise distractions with just like classical music or whatever you want to listen to, and just kind of learning to keep your study zone, and not letting all these other things interfere with it, because I promise you that will make things run by a lot smoother. It'll make things all nice and easy, and it's nice like to go to the same place to study and get comfortable and kind of get like your other things out of the way too. Like I know I like to snack when I'm studying. I'm sure a lot of you can agree that is like a great thing to do. So sometimes what I like to do is to get the snack ready beforehand. That way I'm not like tempted to go and like, oh, I gotta go, you know, cook a 4-course meal right now because, you know, I need a snack. So I just like to have it like already prepped and already ready to go. That way it like decreases the time taken away from studying, if that makes sense. I think it does. But of course, still take breaks. Like don't feel like you have to just sit down and study for hours upon hours upon hours. Make sure to like take the breaks that you need. Just like make sure that you're using and utilizing the time that you are like studying like hardcore to like keep it with studying. Don't get distracted. So habit number 5, which kind of goes along with the last one of like taking breaks and stuff, is a good habit to have is to make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. I know I talk about this like all the time because it is so true. I have met so many people who have struggled with this. It is a struggle to manage all of these things, and sometimes it's easy to forget about your mental health, about your physical health, about the foods that you're putting into your body, stuff like that, water, like getting dehydrated, and getting enough sleep, getting I cannot say that word. Getting an adequate amount of sleep is I would say essential to being like fully physically and mentally well. Try to get as much sleep as you can. I know, like it's hard. I know it's hard, especially like for people who are working, even for people who aren't working full-time or working part-time. I know it can be a struggle because there's just classes and there's clubs and there's just so much things to do, or so many things to do, that you feel like you're never getting enough sleep. But try your best to get some sleep time in, okay? Take care of yourselves. Try to eat properly when you can, and if you have the ability to. Same thing with like water. Make sure you are staying hydrated. Yes, I can't stress this enough. And again, if you ever feel like your mental health is like not doing so well, take the time that you need. I promise you, I guarantee you, I swear to you that mental health is number 1, okay? Nothing over that, like literally, and physical health, obviously. But people always forget about mental health. Take care of yourselves. It is not worth it. It is just not worth it. So yeah. I hope you all enjoyed this Study With Me Saturday, and I will see you all on Motivation Monday. And if you aren't subscribed to this channel, feel free to click the subscribe button. I would love it if you joined our family. And thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment below, and I love you all.